AGK's sister Chinwe pushed Mona away. Hello besties, you're welcome to another episode. Now in this episode, for the first time, Mona got to meet AGK's sister, Chinwe. Remember that in the case or encounter where Mona had with the women, where she was begging that they should allow her to carry out the rites as a daughter-in-law to Mama, regarding her laying Mama to rest. And, the women were like, she was not traditionally married and such, will not be given such privilege to carry out such rites, which is the right thing, trust me. In the Igbo-speaking part of this country, traditional wedding is the number one kind of wedding that is recognized. Even after traditional wedding, you decide not to do other forms of marriage, they don't bother. In their mind, in their heart of hearts, once a man has paid your dowry, traditionally, you're considered to be married to that man. Remember, traditionally, okay? Now, in this case, because Mona was not married traditionally, obviously, she cannot be allowed to do a lot of things as a wife. In fact, Mona is considered as a visitor at this point. Now, from that meeting, I thought they were arguing, or rather talking about if Mona would be given the opportunity to actually do that as a daughter-in-law to Mama. They say they can't, that unless AGK would traditionally marry Mona before Mona can be allowed to do that as a wife. And you and I know that because Mama is still not laid to rest, there is no how Mona will start pushing that AGK, or rather Courage, should do the traditional wedding at this point, so that she can be able to carry out this rites. As such, they were trying to pend it or shift it to another time, pending when Courage would have traditionally gotten married to Mona. So on the process, Mona, or rather Courage uncle, had to let them know that it will still be carried out because Mama's only daughter, Chinwe, is still alive. And you could see the surprise on the faces of the women. And then again, that was how Mona got to know that, the husband's younger sister, who I'm sure she doesn't even know any details about her. She doesn't even know if the sister is still living or not. And of course, considering the fact that Mona has had a encounter with Courage uncle, I'm sure they would have told him that, AGK had a sister who is no more and all that. Now, guys, Mona got to meet Chinwe, AGK's younger sister, and with everything that AGK did to her in the previous episode, you could actually see how, Chinwe did not welcome Mona at the first time until Mona started begging and apologizing and letting her know that, see, whatever that happened, she was not in the known for it, of it, that she only got to know about her through Courage uncle and all that. And, that place was just full of a lot of emotions and all the rest of them. I don't know why I felt so kind of way in this episode. And at a point, I just had to let it out, especially when Chinwe and Mona were actually hugging each other. Now they reconciled and all that. But do you also know that still at this point that AGK does not know that the sister is still alive, doesn't even know that the sister is back in the village. I'm sure the only person that will communicate this particular message to AGK at this point will be Mona when she gets back to the city, or when she comes, back home and then meets AGK and start relating her encounter with the women and how she got to know that there is even a sister somewhere who is still alive and who AGK never bothered to tell her about. Now, what will be the reaction on AGK's face, considering the fact that this was a sister you pushed out in the middle of nowhere, and that was how she got in contact with people who actually had her their way through her, and she conceived and obviously has a beautiful daughter. How will AGK feel about all this at this point? I can't wait to see the expression on AGK's face. But we know that AGK is never remorseful. AGK can never repent. AGK never feels, a kind of way when he offends people. He will just see what excuse now will he give Mona? What excuse? And for Mona that felt that, whatever AGK character or whatever character that AGK is portraying is about his parents, I hope she can now understand that AGK is just much more than she knows. Because for someone to actually push that particular sister who you would have dragged close to you. Sure, you said your parents were the problem. They didn't give you the kind of life that you wanted. They didn't give you the kind of food and luxury that you wanted, that they were your problem. Now, what will you also say that your sister is? Was your sister also your problem? Or you have a particular, kind of phobia? I don't want you guys to laugh. Does AGK have this new phobia that I developed for him? Family phobia. Fear of having anything to do with people who have, blood relations with him. Is it that he has that kind of phobia? Because I don't understand. Will this particular encounter make Mona to consider leaving this marriage? Or will Mona say, oh, it's one of those things. I'm going to stand by my husband. I will change him. I will make him love his family and all the rest of them. We should continue with that. If you were to be Mona, who thought that AGK's problem was only his parents, who could not provide him with the luxury life that he has always wanted. And then you later got to find out that, it was not just about the parents, that AGK also had issues with his own younger sister, who faced the same fate with him, who also did not get that luxury that he's complaining of that. Will you continue with this marriage? Or will you understand that AGK is somebody who does not value family? And it will come to a point in life when he will not even value you and your children, or will not feel any form of remorseful if he ever does anything to offend you. Will you stay in this kind of marriage? Because I don't understand. Now, yes, Chinwe has actually forgiven Mona, but obviously she has not forgiven, AGK. And if you know Chinwe, when she is not happy, you could actually see the expression. If she can push somebody that, was not the one that did whatever AGK that did to her that particular way, what of AGK? How will AGK begin to explain this at this point? Even Andy doesn't know that AGK has, a sister that is still living. If, Mona finally communicates this to the friends, how would they feel? Will this make Dan, who is always supporting him about, how to treat his family, will he actually make Dan to have a rethink and try to ask AGK what his problem is? Guys, I don't know what you think about this particular episode. Please do drop it in the comment section, and I'll see you all in my next video. If you can, please share this video, and if you can relate with it, consider being a part of this family. Until I see you all in my next one.